The Golden Girls aired on NBC from 1985 to 1992, and it followed the friendship between four older women living together in Miami. The viewers were immediately captivated by this terrific ensemble cast. Betty White played the sweet but peculiar Rose, alongside Rue McClanahan's Southern belle, Blanche, and the hilarious mother-daughter duo of Dorothy and Sophia, played by Bea Arthur and Estelle Getty. The show was created by Susan Harris. She was a veteran writer and a creator of many shows, including Soap, Benson, The Golden Girls, and later Empty Nest. Her vision of the show and the original pilot script was quite different than what had been requested from NBC, but the show about women in their 60s impressed executives enough to approve it and send it into production. In the history of television, there are few series that are still generating news after all these years. The Golden Girls is the rare show that may be even more popular than it was when it aired originally, thanks to syndication and streaming. The original pilot episode included a butler of sorts, but the character was eliminated after Estelle Getty's Sophia became a recurring role. Charles Levine played a gay cook named Coco in the first episode, which was pretty groundbreaking at the time. The show wasn't afraid to deal with controversial issues and storylines like gay rights and episodes about illegal immigration, drug addiction, and suicide. Estelle Getty was actually the first Golden Girl that was cast in the show, and she also suffered from extreme stage fright that most people didn't know about. She would appear to freeze on camera during tapings of the show. Of all the actresses, she was the least experienced, and she was intimidated by this process. In a 1988 interview, she stated that working around this kind of talent just scared the wits out of her. She felt like an imposter and worried that fans would think that she wasn't good enough or wasn't as good as her co-stars. It's funny that Getty is actually 1 year younger than her on-screen daughter. During the show's first season, it took the makeup department 3 hours to transform Getty into Sophia. That aging process became more complex when Getty turned up looking even younger when the second season began, because she had had a facelift done during the summer hiatus. She wore heavy makeup and thick glasses, plus a white wig, to transform herself into Sophia. The character of Dorothy was nearly played by Lee Grant. Grant was actually Susan Harris's first choice, having also starred in another short-lived sitcom of hers called Faye. Grant really wasn't very enthusiastic about the choice of playing a grandmother. Harris then began to tailor the role of Dorothy for Bea Arthur, having worked with her while she was a writer on the show Maude. But the president of NBC, Brandon Tartikoff, was against the idea, stating that Arthur was recognizable but not lovable at all. Broadway legend Elaine Stritch was also a contender for this part, and she auditioned for it. But the show's writer didn't like the fact that she ad-libbed a curse word during her audition. The character of Dorothy was known for wearing big earrings, but the actress Bea Arthur didn't even have pierced ears at all. Those crazy earrings that you see dangling from her ears were actually clip-ons. She loved the dramatic effect of the jewelry, but hated that her ears were numb with pain by the end of the day. Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche, had a very Blanche-type contract on the show. There was a clause written into it that allowed her to keep all of Blanche's custom-made clothing. She reportedly had 13 closets full of designer clothes by the time the show wrapped. McClanahan was not very close with B. Arthur. Arthur was a very eccentric woman, and she was very dependent on keeping everything the way it always had been, and Rue McClanahan was anything but that. Arthur also hated wearing shoes so much that she had it put in her contract that she could walk around the set barefoot. It's not surprising either that she also hated birds and chewing gum. She also butted heads with everybody's Golden Girl favorite, Betty White. White, who is actually the oldest of all the women in real life, made Arthur furious with her positive attitude. If White was in a happy mood, Arthur would ratchet up the tension. This feud was really one-sided, though, because Betty White didn't really participate in these shenanigans. The differing attitudes might be attributed to the different acting styles, because Arthur drew upon her stage background during taping, where she always stayed in character. White, on the other hand, was more loose. She would talk and joke with the live audiences between takes. Arthur wasn't a fan of this either. She didn't like the fact that she would break character all the time. This hostility reached a fever pitch between the two after White won the Emmy Award in 1986 for Outstanding Lead Actress. All of the ladies would eventually go on to win, but Arthur was angry that White was the first one to do this. Unfortunately, the two never made up. Arthur was so much of a loner that she took the feud to her grave with her without ever reconciling. When the show first aired, Queen Elizabeth loved it so much that she ended up writing the four actresses and asked them to perform a live show especially for her. They obliged her on this and acted out a sketch during the Royal Variety performance of 1988, at which the Queen Mother was present. They're depicted on stage as visiting London and then sitting down for dinner, recreating various moments from previous episodes. Betty White has always been a fierce competitor. When she appeared on Password back in the day, she found a kindred spirit in this type of game with Rue McClanahan. The two ladies frequently played alphabet games in between takes. For example, if the topic was cars, they would take turns naming different brands like Audi, Buick, Cadillac, all of these done alphabetically. They would do this throughout the entire day of taping. Although there were 4 women living in the house, there were always only 3 chairs around that famous kitchen table. That was strictly due to the limits of filming, to avoid either squeezing all 4 shoulder to shoulder or having one actress with her back to the camera. B. Arthur was always given the center chair, both because of her height and in order to catch her priceless facial expressions in reaction to either Blanche's remembrance of a sexual encounter past or Sophia's picture it monologue. The ladies' bedrooms symbolize each of their characters. Blanche's bedroom looks like a hotel room with its palm tree decor and 2 armchairs. She's known for having many men in her company. Dorothy's bedroom has wallpaper described as regal, with shelves full of books. She's known as being stately and intelligent. Sophia's bedroom is small and has floral wallpaper. She's known for being simple and wise. Rose's bedroom has wallpaper with clouds on it and a couch by the window. The other 3 ladies always remark that Rose has her head in the clouds and that she needs professional help, hence the stereotypical therapist couch. In the 1989 episode, Sophia's Choice, the story revolves around Sophia trying to get better retirement home care for her friend Lillian. In the last scene, Rose suggests that they make a pact that they will always stick together so they won't battle old age alone. Blanche adds that they should all go to a nursing home together. Rose then adds, "But what happens when there's only one of us left?" After a reflective yet morbid pause, Sophia replies, "Don't worry, I can take care of myself." The eerie coincidence of this scene is that Betty White outlived all her co-stars until she passed away in December of 2021. In this scene, they are all sitting in the order in which they passed away. This show received critical acclaim throughout most of its run, and it won a lot of awards. It always brings back a lot of memories to go back and watch a rerun of the Golden Girls. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.